Get ready for sports news and entertainment. All right here, your 7 minutes with Simmons starts right now.
Get your dog on a leash, folks. Get it done. Get it. It's absolutely necessary. I'll tell you the story. It's ridiculous. Welcome back to the podcast. 7 minutes with Simmons, guys. This is episode 17. Appreciate your presence as always. We're going to talk Cup Final, game number 3, preview what's to come tonight. But first, tragedy here in Niagara Falls, specifically involving 2 Rottweilers, Lundy's Lane and Drummond, the corner, very highly dense area. 2 Rottweilers were unleashed. Nobody knows where these dogs came from, but the story goes 2 Rottweilers were off leash, running around Niagara Falls, and they were left totally unchecked. They managed to kill a puppy in the Lundy's Lane area. They then responded, moving on to attack an isolated man who had no help. Police were called in response following the original, mauling of this poor little puppy. And then as they were in response, another call was made saying the very same dogs were attacking a man. Like, who, first things first, if you buy a Rottweiler, you need to know what you're doing. The store needs to know that you know what you're doing. Like, is there a license for this stuff? Like, how do you know that this person is going to take that dog, take care of it appropriately? They're going to put themselves and everybody else in a position to protect their health. It's such a, it just makes me so frustrated to think about. Like, how do you let that happen? And first of all, what are you feeding these things? How does I guess a Rottweiler is naturally a little bit on edge, a little bit of a frustrated breed. But to run out into society and murder a dog, a puppy, and then proceed to attack a human being. There's something wrong with these dogs, something wrong with whoever was, responsible for these pets, is what they are supposed to be, was not doing their job appropriately in preparing these 2 dogs for being off leash. And the owner was nowhere to be found. Not even out there holding the leash like, hey, well, they got away. No idea where this guy is. No idea. So, crazy story here in Niagara Falls. That is your daily dose of my personal life. Let's get back into the topic here. What's going to happen tonight? Who's going to do it? Which goalie will snake bite their opponents? All is left to be seen except for one thing seeming to be consistent, a consistent variable through this year's playoffs, the last few regular seasons, and really the last decade, the high scoring. Let's look at the sample size produced in Edmonton. 2 games, 8 goals scored by the Oilers, 5 coming from both sides scored in the first period on Friday alone. Like, the talent is on display, and it's not hard to just sit back, watch, and curse the goaltenders and those old dead puck eras of the 960 save percentages and the 80-point Art Ross winners, because this stuff is fun to watch. Like, and who can disagree? Who's going to disagree with me? When you really look at it, these high-scoring games is exactly what fans want to see. And it goes back to, an old, frankly, dying way of looking at hockey, that, highly coached hockey is low-scoring hockey. This is a totally different thing. Pucks are going in. Right? It's not hard to say. You cannot say that either team is struggling defensively. I think it's more likely that these players offensively cannot be contained. Like, you have some seriously talented hockey players out there going at it and really going at it. Like, pick a superstar in this Cup Final who hasn't played well. I'll wait. McDavid out of this world. Him and Draisaitl collaborating for what could be one of the greatest cup final goals ever to be scored. On the flip side, Tkachuk, incredible. Seth Jones on the back end has been an incredible pickup for this Panthers team. He's been out of this world. Barkov doing his thing, maybe yet to leave that footprint in the first 2 games. Not that he's been bad by any margin, but I think, some people maybe in that locker room and out are expecting him to step into a bigger role at some point here in these cup finals. But the point is, look at how well these guys are playing. Look, what are you going to do? You're going to tell me that the goaltenders aren't doing their job? Skinner and Bob have been brilliant. They have been brilliant. What we're watching is more than just teams that are well-rounded. It's more than 2 teams that have defensive capabilities. It's more than 2 fantastic goaltenders getting beat by bounces. We are watching 2 of potentially the most talented teams in the history of hockey heading to the woodshed. These guys are playing at the highest level hockey has to offer. And here's the other thing. I don't know that I would be frustrated if Edmonton lost. I think I'd probably shed maybe a little internal tear, maybe cry, inside. I feel like maybe the fire in the belly would be burning a little brighter, being that, it's a Canadian team. I would love them to take it this year. I'd love any Canadian team to win. Bring Lord Stanley back home. But either way, what I won't be able to do is get up on this pod or in front of anyone and say I wasn't entertained post what will probably be a Game 7 decision. And tonight, poised to do it again. The series shifts back to Florida, and I expect more of the same, tight checking, both teams throwing bodies at one another in front of pucks. But quick takeaways here as we're running out of time. Edmonton, how do they secure that Game 3 victory on the road? Quick start. Weather that storm, boys. That building is going to be off the reservation tonight, and I'm sure it's going to be a bit of a strap-in strategy for Edmonton off the drop of the puck. Get through that first 5 to 10, and then start playing Oilers hockey. And for Florida, do exactly what I just said in the contrary. Get after it early. Chip that puck in deep. Grind him down on the forecheck. Put up a goal early tonight. See how that changes the game. Get on him. No breathing room for McDavid, and get that relentless attack in full flight that we've seen all year long. Those are my blueprints. One way or another, I'll be watching. You'll be watching. Game 3 coming up tonight. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace.